All right, folks. My name's Nick. I wanted to bring you through a total body mobility routine, stretch routine as well that you can do daily. Starting with some wrist stretches. Here I'm just putting my palms down flat, fingers backwards towards my kneecaps. I'm going to just start hinging backward, sitting my butt towards my heels. Make sure our knees aren't too close to our fingertips to start. You do want to kind of put a little bit of body weight up in those wrists. And again, we're just going to do this just to start introducing movement to our body. We do use the wrists every day, so it's a good idea to stretch them every day. Otherwise, they will get tight and we will get carpal tunnel-like symptoms, etc. Now, we don't just want to do the flexors, we want to do the wrist extensors. So after that, we'll go ahead and flip our knuckles downward, fingers still backward towards our kneecaps. And then from here, you can be more closer to your fingers with your knees, because you don't want to put too much body weight into your back of your wrists. And then go ahead and just turn your elbows inward towards each other or exposing the biceps outward. So this is going to now stretch the wrist extensors, which goes from the thumb side of the radius all the way to the brachioradialis muscle. So just diagonally across your forearm. Yeah, a really good stretch to do daily. Wrists are used every day, so you want to stretch things that you use, which is the whole body. Yeah, just going for that 30-second mark, so it should be about 10 or so more seconds. You can always do more than 30 seconds, but just minimum 30. All right, from here we'll start introducing movement to the spine. So back to hands and knees, about shoulder width, hip width apart. And then we're just going to squeeze our shoulder blades together, arch my back, and stick my butt out. And then we're going to round, push up through my upper spine, tuck my chin. And then just sit back a little bit, just to get a little bit of a lower back stretch. Here I can now go forward, like roll through the vertebrae. And then go backward, push up and sit back. So about 6 to 10 of these reps. You don't have to go super slow. What you want to do while doing these motions with both arms and legs is just think about left to right symmetry. So does my left shoulder feel like I can squeeze it as hard as I can squeeze my right shoulder? Or is the left lower back tighter than the right lower back? And then that's the side I would spend more time on, the side that feels tighter. All right, we're just going to throw a leg into it. So we're going to step forward and now go into the world's greatest stretch. From here, I just brought one leg forward. We'll do the left foot first for all these stretches. I try to do the same leg first. And then I'm sliding backward, dropping my back knee. We do want this leg to be as far backward as it can, but while maintaining your front knee over toes bend, without the heel coming up either. So that way we are getting an ankle stretch. I'm getting my hip flexor on my right side, getting a little bit of my left inner thigh, and then if I drop low enough, I'll get my left glute. From here, from the hand is totally fine, or the elbow. We're going to take our left hand and reach underneath and thread the needle, dropping that left shoulder towards the floor, trying to keep my left heel down. And then we'll push through that right elbow and go towards the ceiling and squeeze the back. So now we're just hitting the second motion of the spine. So we did flexion and extension in our cat-cows. This is now just a twist. So the spine does have 6 total motions and 3 planes of motion. The twist is the second one, the flexion and extension is the first, and the third is side bending, which we'll do later as well. So yeah, about 6 of these reps, and then we'll go ahead and step back to kneeling and switch to the right foot forward. Again, so I'm just going to sink backward, trying to get my back knee as far down as it can go while keeping my front right heel down and the knee over toes. From here, I drop to my elbow, but totally fine to do this from the straight arm. Good. We're going to go down, drop the right shoulder, and then push up and squeeze. 6 reps. Make sure you are absolutely breathing in all of your stretches. Breathing is the most important part of a good stretch routine. All right, after the world's greatest stretch, we'll go and finish the hip flexor. So we started with the hip flexor a little bit with that world's greatest stretch. We're now going to go into a half kneeling twisted lizard, similar to a lizard, or a couch stretch. From here, I'm just going to start the stretch by lunging my pelvis forward, squeezing my right glute. Here, I'm getting a stretch right through my hip or my hip crosses into my belly, or the muscle crosses into my belly. Same thing, breathe. Try to go a little farther with each forward lunge. So I'm now going just a little bit deeper. The end range of motion is when my calf fully touches my hamstring like that. After I get the hip flexor going just a little bit, we can now turn around and add the quad by bending the knee and pulling the foot towards your glute. Same motion. We can work on hinging the foot closer or just doing the lunging motion as well. Either one will increase the stretch. You do always want to have some dynamic motion in your stretches, so there's kind of a lubrication going on. Then we'll switch sides to the other hip flexor. So back to half kneeling. We're going to go ahead and engage that left glute by squeezing, and then that's going to create the stretch. While maintaining that glute squeeze, we're going to go ahead and lunge forward. Again, trying to get my right knee over toes while keeping the right heel down. But yeah, just create that like pulsing lunge motion over and over, back and forth. Just maintain that left glute squeeze. Try to breathe. Try to relax into the stretch. So sink. Just turn off your body. Now after the first half of that stretch, we'll go ahead and add the quad. So go ahead and bend the knee. Now, if this is a little challenging to bend that knee and balance with it, you can absolutely just rest your foot up against a surface behind you. Could be a wall, a couch, a chair, an ottoman works great if it's cushiony on top. But anything that makes you most comfortable. Then we can gently hinge, or we can push our hips backward towards our heel and get that quad to stretch. About 15 more seconds opening that left hip flexor. All right, from there, the last major muscle of the, well, it has two. We have two more stretches for the legs. The downward dog is next. From here, we want to go ahead and push our hips up, push your head back in between those shoulders, and arch your back just a little bit to get as flat of a back as you can. Now from here in the down dog position, you want to go ahead and walk the dog. So go ahead and bend one knee as you push the other heel towards the floor. Just try to keep your head low. Try not to let your head travel forward. And then again, just keep your push. Shrug into the floor. Keep your hips as high as possible. And slowly push one heel towards the floor. The more you squeeze and engage your quad, the more that hamstring will stretch. About 15-20 seconds. Keep breathing and pushing away from the floor. All right, the last major muscle of the leg is the glute, so we need to go for a pigeon of some sort. So from here, I'm going to lay my leg perpendicular to my torso, and then I'm going to sink back towards my left glute. So my hip's not starting on the floor, my left butt cheek is not on the floor, but I want you to rock backward towards it, pushing your hip towards the floor. If it doesn't get there, that's totally no problem, but you just want to, that's the direction you want to go to stretch. While breathing, just do this for about 20 more seconds. If you feel more comfortable, you can go lower towards the floor. You can rest your forehead on the back of your wrist. You can also slide your right knee backward and slide backward, bringing your foot more up the body towards your head. All right, switch that right foot forward. Right, pigeon. So again, try to have your shin parallel. It's also fine if it twists a little bit inward, your foot rotates towards your body. But here, my glute is not on the floor, so I'm going to sink diagonally backward and push it towards the floor. I'm going to do this for 30 seconds. Just keep breathing, relaxing into it. About 10 more seconds. All right. So that was most of the major muscles of the legs. I'm going to now switch into the upper body. So the first upper body stretch I will always do for the rest of my life is the shoulder windmill. From here, you want to just start flat on your back. You can go ahead and step over and reach over the body with one leg, and then you're going to push that knee to the floor with the hand that's on that side of the body. The right hand now will go overhead and trace the floor. Try to keep your fingertips on the ground the entire time. So as I go between 12 and 10 o'clock for my right arm, that's where the stretch is. So I'm going to make sure I don't roll with the arm. It's totally fine if you do, but try not to as much as it wants to happen. And then breathe through the deepest part of the stretch. Exhale. Do not want to hold your breath while stretching, ever. Yeah, I'll go for about 6 of these rotations in the shoulder windmill stretch. And just try to make as big of a circle on the ground as possible. So I'm shrugging up, I'm reaching as far away from my body as possible. Squeeze down into that armpit, lat area. Okay, one more rep. Nice and slow and controlled. All right. So we'll switch sides. So again, start flat. Try not to start on your side because this becomes a lot harder of a stretch and I don't get as much of a hip stretch. So you want to start flat here first, then step over, find that hip stretch first, and then after you feel that, go ahead and twist that left shoulder, rotate that left shoulder, up and around the torso, overhead. Palm will flip naturally at 12 o'clock, so you just do whatever the arm's wants to do. And then 6 of these rotations. And flatten that left shoulder, reach as far away as you can. And 3 more. Exhaling between 12 and 2 o'clock ideally, but as long as you're not holding your breath, you're perfect. And last one coming up. Last one. So that is the shoulder windmill stretch. All right, there's a couple more stretches we want to do. That's a little bit more of the pec. So for the bicep, we do want to come up towards a wall here. And then we're just going to plant a flat hand on the wall right outside my shoulder, so not behind the body, like all the way back here. Just make sure you're straight out to the side, and then gently just twist away from the wall. And then make sure we don't side bend or drop the right shoulder or drop one shoulder. So here I'm just going to stay very upright. I'm going to feel a little nervy sensation to my fingertips. That's totally fine. It'll go away once you come out of the stretch. But that's just because we're stretching muscles around your brachial plexus right here in your shoulder. So we're tightening the nerves as well. But that's okay. Now it could be a little lower down the wall, and I'm just staying upright. I feel the stretch right through the inner of my bicep all the way down to my forearm. Should be closing in on that 30-second mark. Go ahead and switch. So right hand to the wall. All right, we'll go ahead and switch. Right hand to the wall. You want to twist away from the wall. And then again, just make sure you don't pop that left shoulder too low or right shoulder too high. And then just maintain that stretch while breathing. Slightly turning away from the wall as you exhale is not a bad idea. But again, don't force it. You want to just relax. Let the stretch come to you. All right, one more thing I like to do a lot is with a loose band. You can also do it with a PVC pipe, a golf club, a mop handle, anything that's really long. But kneeling or standing, I'm just going to kneeling to stay in the camera, but you want to go overhead, shrug, and then pull back and down. Behind your body, not close to your body, but push away. And then all the way down till you hit your lower body. And then we're going to come backward, shrug those shoulders towards your ears,
come overhead, and then retract and depress those shoulders back down towards the floor. And then I'm again pulling into my body and squeezing. So we can make that motion your own. You can go about 6 to 8 to 10 of these, whatever feels most comfortable, but at least 6 generally. But yeah, this one is more of a warm-up or mobility exercise, so you do want to try to squeeze your body as hard as you can, so not relaxing into this at all. Actually can be quite fatiguing if we do enough reps. But yeah, so this I do towards the end of my stretches before a workout, just to warm my body up before I do pull-ups or anything weighted. Now there's one more motion we got to do. It's the lateral bending. So this is the third motion of the spine. This is where we want to push out. So this one's probably done better standing. Yeah, we're going to drop the hands to one side and then push our hips outward, getting a stretch down my right side of my lat into my oblique and the iliacus area. And then side bend and switch. So push sideways, push that left shoulder as high as it goes, and back and forth. Again, just make sure you're breathing. Yeah, go as low as comfortably possible. Maybe 3 to 4 per side. Not too many of these. You don't want to do too many bending over motions because that will make you dizzy. So after that, the body should be pretty warmed up. That can be done as many times as you like. It will absolutely loosen every joint, make your body much stronger, much better during daily life, et cetera, et cetera. But if you're not stretching, you absolutely have to start stretching. It's a responsibility you have when you came into this world. Stretch. Enjoy.